Call to order, Town of Prescott Valley, regular town council meeting, February 9th, 2023. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Leyva, not here. Councilmember Greer. Here. Councilmember Dickinson. Here. Councilmember Hepperly.
Here.
Councilmember Schumacher's not here. Vice Mayor Hunt.
Present.
Mayor Plagoda.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thanks, ma'am. This time I'd like to invite down for our invocation and our pledge, Pastor Ben Palmer with Heights Church.
Heavenly Father, I just want to come before you and just thank you for this day. Help us to approach this day as if it's yours. Help us for it to be good, not evil, gain, not loss, success, not failure. I just want to lift the leaders up of this community and this town and just pray for discernment and direction. I want to pray for the town itself and the businesses and ask that you just bless them, and for each area that has its own responsibilities, that you just grant them wisdom and discernment in a way that best honors you, Lord. Help us with our decisions in our day that guide us towards glorifying you, Father. I thank you for your love and mercy. I thank you for your patience in our life, and just ask all this in your guidance. In Jesus' name, amen. I'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, if you would. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank y'all. Have a good meeting.
Thank you, sir. Next up, we're going straight to Councilwoman Hepperly for item 3, Bradshaw Mountain High School Student of the Month.
I got to use the new podium yet, so here we go. Is that picking me up? Is that okay? The town of Prescott Valley, in collaboration with the Optimist Club of Yavapai County and Bradshaw Mountain High School, are honoring. We have one present, but we are honoring two outstanding students for the month of February. So Michaela Buckwalter was not able to make it tonight, but we do have Andon Shepard. We're recognizing these students for their school and community engagement, and they've been nominated by school staff and instructors at Bradshaw Mountain High School. Congratulations. And let's hear a little bit about you.
Hi, my name's Andon Sheffert. I'm currently a senior at Bradshaw Mountain High School. I was born and raised in Prescott Valley. My mother, Tracy, is a first grade teacher at Granville, and my dad, Jeff, used to be a meteorologist for Lockheed Martin. I have attended Bradshaw Mountain Middle School, Liberty Traditional School, and Coyote Springs Elementary School. I am very excited about graduating this year. I am humble, but sometimes it can be hard when you get good grades and do well in sports as I do. I consider myself fortunate to have family that loves me and loves God. I have had few struggles in recent years with my dad being sick and COVID. It really hurt sports and my social life. Lucky for me, I have great parents and teachers who set great example and stayed positive throughout all the rough situations. Throughout all these struggles, I have maintained a 4.2 weighted GPA. School has never been easy for me, but what helped me most was getting clarification from teachers when I didn't understand a particular topic or something we had gone over in class that day. One of my best characteristics is my work ethic. Throughout high school, I have gone from house to house, weed eating, lawn mowing, shoveling rock, and doing whatever anyone needed to be done in order to earn a couple of extra bucks. It wasn't much, but it added up and got me to where I am today. My work ethic not only shows in the outside world, but also in the classroom and on the baseball field as well. I am currently working as a draftsman for Rhino Land Surveying Company in Chino Valley. This job was a fantastic start to a new chapter in my life. This job will lead me into my future career and will give me the job experience to achieve great success in that career. As for my future, I plan to start my college career locally at Yavapai College and study general education. Then I will transfer to a 4-year university where I can complete my architectural engineering degree. My degree will support me in getting a good job doing architectural engineering that can help me focus on large-scale vertical construction projects. I haven't decided where I will settle yet, but I do enjoy calling Prescott Valley home. Although Prescott Valley is my home, I know there are so many opportunities outside of Yavapai County, so we will see what will happen there. I want to thank Mr. Dahl and Bradshaw Mountain High School for this opportunity and for recognizing me. I feel like just another student every day, but this award is a great way to end my high school career. Love you, Mom and Dad. Thank you, everybody.
And a few words from Principal Dahl.
First on the agenda, huh? Wow, we really fast. We were hoping that Michaela was going to make it. Yes! Oh, here she is, Michaela. Perfect timing. And here is Michaela Buckwalter. That's the best thing I've done all day. Look at that. So Michaela, just so you know, was working because that's who she is and that's what she does. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm going to turn it over to her, our other student of the month. Michaela, come on up.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So my name is Michaela, like Mr. Dahl already said. I'm so grateful to be here today. Throughout my high school career, I've been involved in many wonderful things, one being 4 years of volleyball. This year, I got the pleasure of being the captain of our varsity team. Through volleyball, I've met some of my best friends, all while getting to play the sport that I've loved since I was 10. Along with my extracurriculars, I'm in AP and dual enrollment classes and have a 4.0 GPA. Academically, I've always strived for excellence, and even though perfection can never be achieved, my desire to exceed has led me to be successful in all areas of education. The amazing people surrounding me at school always make classes and every aspect just so much more stress-free. Balancing school, sports, a job, and a social life is difficult, but I've managed to make the most out of high school with focus and a little bit of craziness. This year, I've had the pleasure of being an office aide as well. I've met more people on this campus than I ever have before, and it keeps me active around our school. After high school, I plan on going to Yavapai and studying to get my Associates of Arts with a nursing intent. I could not have excelled in my classes without the support of Bradshaw Mountain. The teachers, the staff, and the students have given me so many opportunities, and I'm so grateful to have spent the last 4 years in such a great community. Thank you for your time.
All right, that was much better than me reading Michaela's, so I'm going to put that right there. Thank you guys again for understanding the importance of celebrating our kids. We so appreciate it so very much. They are wonderful, wonderful kids. I'm the luckiest person in the world. I say the same thing, but it's true, and I always have to remind myself that you guys don't get to hear what I say every time I'm here. I am so grateful to be a part of this school and this community, and it is because of kids like you. And I know that there is a whole campus of them, but we are here to celebrate you. I just want you to know how much we appreciate you, how much we see what you do. It is a pleasure to work for you and alongside you. So thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for setting a great example for our younger students. We are grateful for you. If you guys don't mind, I have also brought an assistant principal, Mr. Hall, who happens to know our students very well. And I'm going to ask him to just say a couple of words really fast. Did you hear that?
Yes. Okay. So I've known a lot of these kids since they were in middle school. I started my career as a middle school teacher, moved up to the high school. So I feel really blessed to be a part of their life and to see what they grow into and just to see what they put into the community. And I'm just super proud that I get to work for them, work with them, and just be a part of their last stage as they get ready to go off into the world and be citizens of our community and, you know, the United States. So I'm excited. So congratulations, guys.
Michaela, I'm so glad you made it. I have a feeling that you read your bio better than Principal Dahl would have, so I'm glad. And from the Optimist Club, Mike Whiting.
Well, if you're not sure why we're here tonight, it's obviously to recognize our students in the community, and we have two great kids from Bradshaw Mountain High School. And I always think back, and I know a lot of the adults do too, what were you doing when you were in high school? And I, positively, I was nowhere close to the students that we're recognizing tonight. And I'm with the Optimist Club of Yavapai County, and we as a tradition recognize youth in our community. We've been doing this with the Prescott Valley Town Council for about 5 or 6 years now, so it's quite a tradition. We've moved it just recently to the second Thursday of the month, so we never know. I think in terms of the availability of the kids or the students from Bradshaw Mountain, because obviously they have other things to do as well. But they've taken a little time out, and I'm always in awe of the students like we have tonight relative to what they've achieved in their high school and what they hope to achieve in the future. So I'm going to read a few things here, and then we'll get to the awarding some certificates. But we're recognizing them for a lot of different things that they do, but achievements in school as well as accomplishments in their academics, athletics possibly, as well as personal involvement at school and hopefully in the community. And we see a lot of kids, I think, anymore in the community, like Michaela, who's working, I think, at the mall, and she's obviously was able to make it tonight. But they've demonstrated responsibility necessary to excel, I think, in terms of their schoolwork and other personal goals, continually striving for success in all they do. And that's one of the elements, I think, of the Optimist Club is those things in the community. And obviously they're teenagers, but they're already accomplishing things that we as adults are optimists that hope to achieve as well. So Michaela and Andon, it's with sincere pleasure that we congratulate you as Students of the Month on behalf of the Optimist Club of Yavapai County, the town of Prescott Valley, and Bradshaw Mountain High School. So congratulations. Let's give them all a great hand. We do have just little mementos that come nowhere close to recognizing your achievements so far. And we hope in terms of your plans that you'll come and visit us, if not to work here once you're done with your schoolwork and you're ready to hit the road as far as your profession. So I'm going to give April the certificates, if you want to pass those out. And then we do have Optimist Creed, and it's 10 different things that if you can follow these things, you'll have a successful life and be a very good member of society. So when you have a chance, take a look at this as well. Again, congratulations. We appreciate you being here tonight, and we look forward to seeing you in the future as well. Thanks for being here tonight. Oh, all of it. Okay.
Oh, you're welcome.
Much appreciated. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone. And before we move on, I just want to mention one thing about the shepherds that are exiting the back of the room. The gentleman right there with the hat, his name is Jeff Shepherd, and he is a pillar in our community. He was very instrumental to Little League back in the day, and he is also instrumental for transforming a baseball field up at Coyote Springs Elementary School. The man literally took it upon himself to turn a field that was full of goat heads, dirt, and weeds to a viable baseball field. And that's what it's all about, being a member of Prescott Valley. So thank you very much for that, Jeff. Now, my favorite part of the night, call the public. At this time, members of the public may comment on matters listed on the agenda or solely on matters within the jurisdiction of the town. Any persons wishing to address the council must register their name with the town clerk prior to the commencement of the meeting. The council's response is limited to responding to criticism, asking staff to review a matter commented upon, or asking that a matter be put on a future agenda. Such remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes unless additional time is granted by the mayor. Clerk.
Laura Mercadante.
Welcome, ma'am. Usually you're just going to want to speak at the podium this way, if that works for you.
Yes. Hi, my name is Laura Mercadante. I am an Arizona native, but I'm a new transplant to Prescott Valley. My family and I were able to buy our first home here in Prescott Valley last summer, and we have just loved being a part of this community. We have a 3.5-year-old, and that has just been wonderful seeing all the work you've been doing for the park. So thank you. One thing I would like to address is asking that we update our chicken policy. I know that's been kind of a favorite thing here, but would just love if right now I think the rule is that it's 1 per half acre, and I would love it if we could see 4 to 6 per quarter acre. Chickens are flock animals, and so needing to have some buddies, and don't know if I'm for the roosters yet, maybe on a larger piece of property, but they have so many great benefits. They're actually quieter than dogs. We have a lot of yippers in my neighborhood, so actually chickens will be a little bit quieter than that. They are great pets for young kids, teach responsibility. Obviously, we get the eggs, they eat bugs, they are great for composting, getting our yard nice and green, putting that on our plants, eating bugs, and doing our table scraps. And it actually cuts down a lot on food waste that goes into the dump every year, is being able to give them little meat scraps, leftover salads, leftover vegetables. They will eat anything. So I would love to see that proposed in the following year, that we can have chickens. So that's it.
Thank you, ma'am. And I just want to direct you to our Facebook page.
Mhm.
There'll be a survey on there that you can take, and you can share that information about
Great.
chickens.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Clerk?
Mr. Joe Hammes?
Welcome, sir.
I was here 2 weeks ago, and I mentioned brought up the Jasper Parkway that's missing. And you told me that the following Monday you had a meeting with the developer.
Yes, sir.
Did you?
So this is like an opportunity for you to just talk to us. Normally, we don't interact from the dais answering questions. So unfortunately, we're not allowed to do that. So if you'd like to just just say what's on your mind, and we can maybe schedule something at a later date to answer questions further in detail, if that would work for you.
Okay, but you did have the meeting.
Yes, sir. Clerk?
No one else, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to council comments, let's start down with Councilwoman Hepperly.
Okay. We had a ribbon cutting this week for ERC specialists, which is, ERC is the employee, oh man, I had it ready to go, employee retention credit. So what ERC does is it helps businesses navigate getting that employee retention credit. And phone number for them is 928-430-0400. And Prescott Valley Kiwanis Club, still looking for new members. The next meeting is February 15th at 7:30 a.m. I know, it's a little early, but it's worth it. It's at the HUSD East Campus. That's the high school that doesn't have any students. And just to give you an idea of what Kiwanis has been up to, just Prescott Valley Kiwanis is only a year old. So it's totally separate from the Prescott Kiwanis, which is 99 years old. But just in the last year, Prescott Valley Kiwanis has raised $2,000 to go towards scholarships that will go to kids in the local kids in the community. We went on a $1,000 shopping spree for Casa for Kids at Christmas time to donate to their toy drive. They have donated to the PV Public Library Summer Reading Program. They have paid off debts for students who did not have money to pay for lunches at school. PV Kiwanis stepped in and paid for those lunches. And then they are also actively helping in fundraising for the YMCA that we're trying to get out here in Prescott Valley. So anyways, it's definitely worth checking out PV Kiwanis.
Vice Mayor.
I was able to go to the Agape House 10-year anniversary on Saturday. Boy, have they done some amazing things for transitional family housing. And I'm happy to say that they have applied for a total of 8 units to be developed in phases in Prescott Valley that is going through the planning department. We had a wonderful state of the town on Tuesday, and our mayor did an excellent job, as well as our town manager, who focused on water. So thank you guys for that. Good job. We also, last week, had a drainage public meeting here where we're talking about our master stormwater and drainage project. There is a comment form on Facebook and also on our website where you can go on and comment about drainage. And it's pretty awesome because they are mapping everywhere in Prescott Valley by a 15 foot by 15 foot square all across Prescott Valley to determine where the water's coming from, where it's going, how we can reclaim it. And so it is quite a feat. And the consultant stood here and said that we, by far, are ahead of most communities in Arizona doing this type of study to conserve water. There's a water jug on the back table as you came in or as you're going out. It's for our Hungry Kids Project. We do an annual fundraiser, and that fundraiser is between February 13th and February 17th. 100% of the funds raised, and it's actually a penny drive, but the kids are competing at their schools, but we will also take bills. So anywhere between February 13th and the 17th, you can stop by any of your neighborhood public schools and donate pennies, dollars, what have you. But what it actually is, it's for our Hungry Kids program through the Humboldt Education Foundation. So we pack and send home 250 bags every weekend with littles in our schools who don't have food at home to eat on weekends. So if you would like to donate to that, there's a jug in the back, stuff your change or your bills in, and we sure would appreciate it. Again, it's part of the Humboldt Education Foundation. Thank you.
Normally, I don't say anything during this time, but someone is having a birthday today. So the hardest working vice mayor in Arizona, Lori Hunt's birthday today. So make sure you say happy birthday to her.
Stole my thunder. Okay. I wanted to mention that on last Friday, I had the opportunity to interview Professor Parker Northrup from Embry-Riddle. He is a retired colonel, 24 years in the Air Force, for a council conversation. And this was an opportunity to get to have him share with us what is going on at Embry-Riddle. And he is the director of the flight program there at Embry-Riddle. And the council conversation is available on YouTube as well as on our website under Channel 56. And you can access those programs that the council members interview various individuals. And to further what Council Member Hepperly was speaking about with the Kiwanis Club, we will be volunteering at the Globetrotters on March 3rd at one of the concession stands there and working the concession stand. So come out to see the Globetrotters and come down and see all of us volunteering at the concession stand. Thank you.
Councilwoman?
Well, they already spoke about it. I was at the Chamber of Commerce breakfast and at the ribbon cutting. It's quite an interesting business that they're helping businesses get money back from the government if they were able to retain people during COVID. So anybody that applies to, contact them.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on, manager's report, Mr. Davison.
Mr. Mayor, happy birthday, Vice Mayor. Yeah, we have a number of just exciting things taking place in our community on many different fronts. And I just wanted to, before this meeting, we had a study session that featured a number of presentations that staff has been working on for a number of months, and very proud of that team that is really working hard on behalf of certainly the council, but the public to make sure that we deliver good things back to the community, and just wanted to make sure that the council hears that and our public. We've got a great team that is really trying to do some exciting things for the community. We are finalizing the January monthly report, and that will be sent out to the council and to the public. We have a really exciting positive announcement. Our team, under the direction of our deputy manager, Ryan Judy, was able to secure a $500,000 grant. It's called the Safe Streets Grant, and this is going to enable us to begin to really study some of our core areas of the community for sidewalks, adding bike lanes where we can within some of our right-of-way areas. So this is really exciting. This will then, once we have these studies and analysis completed, we then are eligible to apply for other funds from the federal government that we can bring those dollars back into our community to help build some of the areas that are indicated per the plans. So very exciting on that front, and we'll get more out to the council and to the community on that. And then we, as you know, everyone has seen hopefully in the paper and been paying attention to the issue with Blue Cross Blue Shield and Dignity Health. We are continuing to work through that issue. As you know, they've not been able to reach a settlement and conclude a negotiation. This does have an impact certainly on our town employees. We utilize Blue Cross Blue Shield, and that will have the impact on individual employees and their families being able to utilize services at Dignity Health. But it also has a much broader implication across Yavapai County. So this affects any individual that has Blue Cross Blue Shield, county employees, state employees, the other jurisdictions. And so we'll continue to monitor that and look for creative ways that we can try to, not only internally with our town staff, but if there's things that we can do in the community to bring in additional, health resources to make sure that we've got that coverage. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next up, new business, zoning map change, ZMC 22-009, Earth Resource Corporation. Oh, we'll hit consent. I apologize. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the town council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately for discussion and possible action. Council?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented by electronic vote.
I second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Councilmember Greer,
Aye.
yes or no? Mayor Polguda,
Yes.
that passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Now up, Mr. Ruby, zoning map change, ZMC 22-009.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, the item before you is a zone map change for Earth Resources Corporation. Wyatt Orr is the requester to change the zoning on R1L70 land to M1, which is consistent with their other property in the area. It's a total of 33 acres on 3 different parcels. Here we go. The area here is shown. You can see the three parcels. One thing I'd like to note to you is how much of the usable or unusable area is part of this zone change. You can see where the river runs through entirely one parcel and a portion of other parcel. So the request is to just use this for outdoor storage. It's congruent with the parcels to the south, which are also owned by Earth Resources Corporation and have been rezoned to M1. So that's what the request is, for M1 zoning on this entire parcel so they can continue to operate their business. No traffic study was done because there was no impacts really. There was no traffic that was going to run through this area. There was a neighborhood meeting held. There was no opposition to the project. Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed this project and voted unanimously on January the 9th to move it forward to the council. Staff observes that all conditions have been met, and we would therefore recommend approval of zone map change 22-009. Be glad to answer any questions if you have them.
And also, I should open it up. This is a public hearing. We have any questions for Mr. Ruby? You mentioned, sir, the picture right there that shows actually what is, I believe, what's usable and what's not usable. It's right along the Agua Fria. And although it may be 30-plus acres, buildable wise, nothing's being done there. And the reason that it was residential is because that's the way it was annexed into the town from the county at the time.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
If anyone's been down there, it is as industrial as it gets for an industrial area. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak on this item?
I was curious what kind of equipment, is it dirt or ground moving equipment or trucks or what kind of equipment?
A combination of all the above. Earth Resources Corporation does a lot of the grading, asphalt, paving, things of that nature, as well as earth moving. So they're just storing outdoor equipment, and that was conditioned by staff as well as the Planning and Zoning Commission for outdoor storage only, no development at this time.
Any other questions for Mr. Ruby? Councilman?
I was trying to get it up on GIS real quick, but I wasn't fast enough. Is any of it flood zone or is it just, it is?
There's a majority of it that is in the
It is,
flood zone.
okay. So even if it stayed residential, no houses are ever being built here.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? No one else out in the public? We'll close the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to motion to read ordinance number 2023-916 by title only on two separate occasions and then place the same on final passage by electronic vote.
Can I have a second?
Second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Mayor Paluda?
Yes, and just be advised, ma'am, my screen is totally frozen.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ordinance number 2023-916. An ordinance of the mayor and common council of the town of Prescott Valley, a municipal corporation of Arizona, amending the town zoning map ZMC 22-009 by changing the zoning classification of an approximately 33 acres located approximately 1.5 mile north of State Route 169 and 1/2 mile east of State Route 69 from R1L-70 residential single family limited zoning to M1 industrial general limited zoning, and providing that this ordinance shall be effective 30 days after its passage and approval according to law.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 8B, Viewpoint Senior Community 2, FDP 23-001. Mr. Ruby, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of council. The West Cap Investments is seeking the necessary approvals for Viewpoint Senior Community 2. This includes a final development plan for a 3-story, 72-unit building on the site adjacent to, as you can see on the screen, on your screen, adjacent to their other parcels or projects, which include Sungate Villas and Phase 1 for Viewpoint. They're also asking for a development agreement allowing deferral of certain impact fees on their project. They have, Westpac has, as I mentioned, completed several other projects in town in that vicinity. As you can see, they're on Viewpoint Drive, and there are certain things that they will be required to do as part of their traffic analysis. Level of service will remain at a level C, but they've been asked to build a new northbound lane along the project frontage on Viewpoint Drive. They've also been asked to install curb gutter striping and sidewalk within the Viewpoint Drive right-of-way, as well as an interior stop sign on Viewpoint Drive. In addition to those previous projects that were all done through the federal low-income housing tax credit, this one is asking for deferment in that area as well, for deferment of fees. So Westcap is requesting that the council consider a development agreement to defer collection of fees in order to encourage the development of the units. The fees would be paid up. There are certain fees that would be paid up front. I believe you have a calculation sheet in your packet that shows which fees would be paid up front, which would be deferred to a later time. So this would actually involve two different actions. One would be considering the resolution 2297, adopting the final development plan. And subsequent to that, it would also involve a resolution 2298, adopting the development agreement between the town and West Cap. I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have them at this point.
Vice Mayor?
I have a question for Mr. Spritzer. Sir, thank you for being here and thank you for your investment in our community. Ernest, can you put that map back that that one? Nope, that one.
That one.
So, Bill, what areas are still vacant here and what areas might develop?
Well, good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm Bill Spreitzer, President of West Cap Investments. We're the developer of Viewpoint 2. This is the last piece of property that's part of the Viewpoint site. We have one site left that's east of Sungate Villa Senior Community. Small site, but I think it'll accommodate about 50 additional senior housing units in the future.
Perfect. So we're working, as you may know, we're working on an attainable housing strategic plan. And one of the items on there are to encourage incentives for developers such as yourself who will come in and develop attainable housing, and yours is 100%. So I appreciate that. I support this request, and I thank you very much for your investment in our community.
You're welcome.
And Mr. Ruby, just so everyone is clear, this is just a deferment of the fees, not a waiver of the fees.
That's correct,
So
Mr. Mayor. At the
all will
time-
be paid just prior to someone actually getting a certificate of occupancy,
That's correct.
just to make that clear. Thank you, sir. Anything else for Mr. Ruby? Now I'll take a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to, can I read both of them? Okay. I'd like to motion to authorize the mayor to sign resolution number 2023-2297, adopting final development plan FDP 23-001 by electronic vote.
Clerk, call the vote, please.
Councilmember Greer? Thank you. That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign resolution number 2023-2298, adopting a development agreement deferring collection of specific town fees for the Viewpoint Senior Community Phase 2 project until occupancy by electronic vote.
I second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up, item 8C, revised emergency operations plan, consideration and possible action. Lieutenant Kaufman will be presenting.
Greetings, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, Town Manager, Town Attorney. How's everybody tonight? So, as the Lieutenant of the Police Department of the Sports Service Division, one of my duties was to be the Emergency Operations Coordinator, directed by the Chief of Police. I revised the emergency operations plan for the town. In PrimeGov, you have the emergency operations plan. I hope you reviewed it. That was placed in there last week to assistance of Fatima. What I'm going to present to you is the PowerPoint version of this. We'll get through it. It's only 6 slides. Hopefully it goes fairly quickly. If you have any questions, ask. So the purpose of this was to obtain the town's council's acceptance, proclamation of a new town of Prescott Valley Emergency Operations Plan. The last one written was in 2012. I hit the ground running with this. I had a lot of training, a lot of experience. So I rewrote it in accordance with state law and federal law. Replaces the 2012 Town Disaster Response Plan. New systematic review, substantive changes. New plan consistent with federal, state, county regulations, guidance, statutory authority. Incorporates a one-town concept of emergency management, supporting emergency operations manual, clear operational phasing. The one town, all town of Prescott Valley departments and personnel under the direct supervision of the town manager. will participate in the emergency planning and mitigation, response, management, and recovery activities as directed. Because town resources are limited, the same personnel and material resources engaged in routine town functions may be required for emergency response, management, and recovery operations. The town executive leadership may suspend conduct of selected routine functions and redirect personnel of resources to emergency operations as required. This is essentially a design, if you will. This specific manual that you're provided in PrimeGov is a living, breathing document. This is a document we'll be providing to the community. The annexes that will be written and are being written by the department heads will not be released to the public. Those will be incorporated into the emergency operations manual. Those will be for department personnel to review. If people knew, the community knew what the operation plan was, people would know how to defeat it. So we don't want people to know how to defeat our operations plan, so we're not going to divulge that. We will divulge the majority of the plan, but not the specific colonel's recipe, if you will. Does that make sense? So the intent for the plan, as we're going to release it, it's intended for public release, preparedness, transparency, accountability, provide a broad guidance, establish policies, procedures, what we must do and why we must do it, and then the emergency operations manual, the roles, responsibilities, training and exercises, and funding. So for funding, we obviously need to be in accordance with state law and federal law because obviously we want state dollars and federal dollars to assist us. So we need to be in accordance with the law. And that of course follows the roles, duties, and responsibilities and the actions, as well as the MOUs and the IGAs that go along with that. Because in the event of a large-scale emergency, we're going to need help. We're going to need the help of the Yavapai County Emergency Management, and if it's really big, state help and possibly federal help. So as we go along with this, operational phasing, we have an initial response to it. We have to identify the hazard, a rapid assessment, an EOC activation, which is emergency operations activation. We have to declare an emergency, depending on the type of emergency we have. We have to get management involved, actively allocate management resources, and then work toward recovery so we can return to normal services. Planning and mitigation. So in order to do that, we have to do some role playing here. We have to prepare for the worst. So in order to do that, I really want to start off slow. And to start off slow, I want to do this in an educational format. We'll get everybody together, classroom setting, police department. We'll start off slow. We'll do some educational teaching. Then we'll do some desktop exercises, small scale, medium scale, large scale. Then we'll get Yavapai County involved. So in the event we have a real life incident, we'll know how to work through it. We'll gain awareness. We'll gain awareness of potential hazards, and we'll know how to deal with them. So this timeline is a little off. Initial goals were to get stuff done November, December. We got the plan done January. It's done. The annexes are being completed. Should have the annexes, all the annexes completed by, we're shooting for March now. Then we'll be able to push the final document out by March, and we're shooting for April for the first exercise. So, are there any questions?
We have questions for the lieutenant?
So the tabletop exercise, will that be similar to what we had back in April of 2021, when we had all of the first responders involved over at the, we had to use the training room, police department?
Yes.
Will that be?
It will be similar, only we'll be utilizing annexes. The annexes will be written by the different department heads, and depending on the type of emergency we have, it could be an IT emergency, it could be an emergency involving a public works emergency, it could be an emergency on the highway involving a tractor trailer flipping over with gasoline all over the highway, or it'd be a hazmat emergency where you would need Public Works and CAFMA and a whole bunch of other entities to assist us in that emergency. So depending on how we roll out this emergency, we'll evaluate it and figure out what kind of resources we need to address it.
That was very well done, by the way. I look forward to participating in that.
Very good.
Anything else? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I make a motion to approve the revised emergency operations plan for the town of Prescott Valley by electronic vote.
Can I have a second?
And I would like to thank Mr. Ray Cochran in the back here, retired Lieutenant Colonel, one of my volunteers at the police department, for assisting me in writing this emergency operations manual.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Next up, motion to adjourn.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn.
Have a second.
I second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. Have a great night.